Good
Well,
evening.
good evening.
Okay, so before we get on to the big news about WrestleMania, which is coming up, well, basically it starts Friday, right?
Yep, starts Friday night right after SmackDown with the Hall of Fame.
Well, first I'm gonna go off on a rant. Okay,
Oh
I was
no.
thinking about this because first they, well, WWE started a new thing and it premiered tonight. It's called Speed. Okay, and there's a tournament for a title, a new title just made called the Speed title. Don't know too much about it, but this basically premiered on Twitter. Okay, from what I understand. Okay, it's new series Speed kicked off on the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, right? And
Yeah.
this is a new title that you're going to want to see. And I'm thinking, they did this. What happened to that 24/7 title? We don't see it no more. When's the last time we saw the 24/7 title or somebody tried to defend that title? It's been quite a long time. And that was kind of I don't know, a screwed up title in the first place because, I thought it was kind of fun, but now you've got R-Truth holding the record for the most titles ever held because he held that belt like 54 times or something. So if you're going to remake titles or invent new titles, my advice to them is don't make a new show and a new title around it and put it on X. Bring back the television title, a title that was extremely hard to win. You know, they had they only would be able to defend it on like Raw or SmackDown or something like that. It used to have like a 10-15 minute time limit for the match. And in order to win that title from the title holder, you had to win in the first 5 or 10 minutes of that match. So if you pin the title holder after that time ran out, because the match would continue anyways, the title holder wouldn't lose the title. He could lose the match, but not lose the title. See, it used to be, because of the rules, it used to be a very hard title to win. And, or here's another idea for Triple H and all them flunkies now that Vince McMahon is gone. Invent the Intercontinental title or the U.S. title for the women's division. Okay, and they should split the tag team titles that the Judgment Day are holding and put them back on SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Those are just my opinions about the titles. Last night we watched that documentary. What was it called? Anyway, it was
Bray Wyatt becoming immortal.
yeah. Now that was very interesting. If you got Peacock, I'd watch it.
Yes, it was. It was cool because it went through his whole life, not only his wrestling career.
Right. It went through his whole life, his wrestling career, um, everything about him. But you got to see that a lot of the Bray Wyatt character, aside from the help from that one dude that was like his best friend there for
Yeah.
a while, he created all that, the Fiend and all of those characters. he was good at his creativity, and reinventing the Bray Wyatt family and the Bray Wyatt legacy with his what was that called? The Firefly Funhouse.
Yep.
All those little characters, those puppets, came from Wyndham Rotunda's mind.
Yeah.
But watching that, and if you get a chance to watch it, I suggest watching it before WrestleMania weekend, because I believe, not as strong as hint as some of those people out there were saying, but there's a hint that Bray Wyatt legacy is going to continue. And it looks like, and watch for it, people, many weekends right around the corner, Uncle Howdy is going to be back, honoring his brother.
Actually, he's going to be probably leading the pack.
Yeah. So now, people are anticipating, other wrestlers coming back, like Liv Morgan might show up. Well, she's been out on a hiatus because of an injury. Those kind of comebacks are typical for WrestleMania. But here, with this particular storyline and stuff, you've got a few people that were part of this documentary that were so strongly influenced by Bray Wyatt that they were going to come along for this ride with Uncle Howdy, or AKA Bo Dallas, his brother. Okay. And you're talking Alexa Bliss, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman. So I would look for one hell of a return of the Wyatt family. It's not over yet. The Fireflies are going to return to the audience. It's all going to happen. So you might have to just come out for a visit sometime.
Yeah.
Just call. Not now, though. Now that being said, I'm saying that's a prediction, that they return at WrestleMania somehow. Now on to WrestleMania, we've got Friday. We're gonna have that Andre the Giant Battle Royal. That's part of WrestleMania SmackDown. Okay, will be the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, whatever they call it. All right, now these people that have won this Battle Royal in the past have gone on to, do some pretty amazing things afterwards.
So how many wrestlers are involved in that?
I don't have that up right now.
Isn't it like 30 of them?
Yeah, it's like a normal battle royal. This, here we go. I think there's 30. Let's count them. All right. We start with Akira Tozawa. Okay, he's going to be entering it. Andre, Apollo Crews.
Andre, you mean Andrade?
Andrade, yeah.
Okay.
Apollo Crews. Something Ashton the Adonis. I'm not sure who that is.
Ashante Adonis?
Yeah.
Could they be from NXT?
Yeah, he could be. Big Bad Bronson Reed is going to be part of that. I'd like to see somebody try to, yeah.
Well, isn't this Battle Royal? It's where you just get people over the top rope, and as long as they land on their feet, they're out. Which the big people like him are usually one of the first ones because they're so easy. Once you get them tipped over, they can basically take themselves over.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting fight because, you know, the big guys like Bronson Reed, you know, will be targeted by the other wrestlers, but hopefully he's learned. I mean, the last few battle royals Bronson Reed's been in, he's been taken out pretty quickly.
Yep.
You know, then you got Brutus Creed, one of the Creed brothers, Cameron Grimes, Cedric Alexander, Chad Gable, Elton Prince, Ivar, another big one.
Yep.
I mean, Ivar's got a little bit more experience, and it might be a little harder for them because you look at Ivar and you look at people like Bronson Reed and Otis and some of those other big guys. I hate to say it, and I don't mean to be mean, but there's more to Ivar than trying to lift him out. It's like he's like all fat, where the other guys are big and muscular.
Yeah, but even though he's all fat, he still gets on the top rope and does that splash.
Well, I think it's going to be a little harder for them to knock Ivar out. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but he's not going to get out as easy as they've gotten Bronson Reed out in the past.
Yeah.
These Royal Rumbles. Now we've got JD McDonough. Boy, he's really. You got the other Creed brother, Julius Creed, Kit Wilson. Some of these names might be from NXT. Okay. Omos will be back.
15. Okay.
In this big black.
He's another one that people get
7-footer, but yeah, but maybe he's learned something since he's been gone. So, you know. And then you've got Otis.
16.
Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, and then it looks like the two, those two guys, Veer and whatever, the other one's like Sagna. Anyway, the two guys that came out with, what's his name? I can't even remember. But anyway, yeah, it looks like there's about
the two that came out with Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, the two guys that came out with Jinder Mahal.
Okay, that's 20.
That's it. That's the guy. So that's about 20 people. So you never know who might show up that day. Okay. And then not to mention, of course, the way they've been running it, we're going to have, you know, first 20, 30 minutes of it's going to be all talking.
Yeah, like it has been lately.
Now, immediately following SmackDown on Peacock, they're going to be inducting the Hall of Fame, and we've learned that Roman Reigns will be inducting Paul Heyman. Okay. We also learned recently that I can't remember her name, but The Rock's grandmother is going to be
Mavavi. Her last name's Mavavi.
Mavia.
Okay, well, I was close.
Okay. So it's going to be pretty interesting weekend, probably full of Samoan royalty.
Yeah, you're probably going to see a lot of them in the audience.
Now, the other thing about that Samoan dynasty is there's a lot of reasons for that. But remember when we saw The Rock whispered in Cody Rhodes' ear, right?
Yeah.
Nobody to this time knows
What was
what he
said?
whispered. Because Cody didn't give you a clue, and Rock, said, go ask Cody. Well, that's had the rumor mill kind of heated up a bit. And some are saying that The Rock basically, they say that, I'm just quoting the rumor mill, that he whispered to Cody that he will be finishing his story at WrestleMania. Now, if that's the case, that means Cody's going to walk away, leaving Roman without that belt.
He's going to become champion.
Okay. Now, that could happen in a couple of ways because I've been watching The Rock closely in these things. And, we'll get to that. We'll get to that, Ashley. Just be patient. The Rock has kind of looked almost like he's a little distant from Roman and the rest of them, because he initially came there to take on Roman. I think now he's going to turn on Roman at some point over this weekend. Okay. And I think Drew McIntyre getting on Seth Rollins' case, telling him, you shouldn't be doing this. You're supposed to face me. You should be focusing on me, not the bloodline and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Has introduced a whole new Seth Rollins. More determined, more focused, more, pissed off. So I'm not so sure that Roman and The Rock are going to succeed on Saturday night to make it bloodline rules on Sunday. Okay. And even if it is bloodline rules, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes know well enough or Cody is smart enough to know to make sure he's got some backup plan in case that happens, because we just learned of what bloodline rules on this last Monday Night Raw, because the main event was bloodline rules, and all hell broke loose at the end.
Yeah.
But if Cody's got enough backup to beat the numbers game or to even the odds at bloodline rules, he's got a good chance of walking away. But again, I still think The Rock is going to turn on Roman, because he initially came there to take on Roman Reigns.
If he's going to turn on Romans, wouldn't you think he'd do it on Saturday night when they have their doubles match? The tag team match?
It could happen then.
To where it could be where Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes win that, which means Bloodline cannot come out on Sunday.
Yeah, then the Bloodline's basically,
then he has a better chance.
Right. It's a good possibility. I mean, he kind of has been distancing himself in a way. It's just those looks and stuff that you see if you watch real close and pay real close attention. It's like he didn't want to be part of that. He's not. Yeah, he's saying, I'm real happy, I'm good bringing the Bad Rock back and all of this, but yet I don't think he likes them booing him and calling him all those names after he's been praised so much ever since he's become such a big movie star. I think that bothers him. getting booed and saying Rocky sucks and all that other shit that the audience says, I think it bothers him. If Cody and Seth wins, yeah, but still,
That's still part of the bloodline, though, wouldn't it be?
yeah, but it would leave Roman with the belt because then it would be automatic disqualification.
For Roman.
Right. And that new cousin he's talking about is Jason Fatu or Jacob Fatu, the one that's been under hi Tom, under Booker T's tutelage. See, Booker T's been the plans. This is what I heard again from the rumor mill. The plans for Jacob is to kind of bring him in when he's ready and have him tag with Solo, and they're going to be kind of the new Wild Samoans. You know, like the Wild Samoans 2.0.
Yeah. Like Sika and what was his brother's name?
The original two.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank too. I got so much to get through here, but
wasn't that the Rock's dad?
Yeah, one of them was Rock's dad.
Sika.
You know, but I think this is going to be a hell of a weekend because I think we're going to see a lot of that Samoan dynasty this weekend.
Yeah, they're probably going to be in front row watching.
Well, not just that. Friday night, you've got The Rock's grandmother getting inducted.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you've got what do you got? Saturday night, The Rock and Roman.
Rock and Roman versus Cody and stuff. Yep. The tag team match.
Right. But now also excuse me. Then the other match that's really important, and I'm not sure which night because I don't have.
You don't have the lineup up?
Yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, I do. Here it goes. So it'd be on. It'll be the first night, Saturday. So
Saturday night, brother versus brother.
You got Jay versus Jimmy, and that's just that match. I swear that match is probably going to blow the roof off the place.
It's got to. I mean,
you are going to probably see things in that match that you haven't seen anyplace else before. Those two are so evenly matched, have been fighting and wrestling together since they were kids. And you know damn well Rikishi's going to be right there for that.
And they know each other's wrestling styles so well. They complement each other, especially when they were tag team partners. They complement each other to where that's probably going to be one of the best matches of the night.
I think you're right. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises that they're keeping secret. There's a lot of rumors going out there, Jeremy, and they're getting stronger. And like I said, did you watch that Bray Wyatt documentary on Peacock?
I like that because it not only did it show Bray Wyatt, but it seemed like it was in his brother's perspective. Because his brother was the one that started it off, and then you heard Mark Calloway's voice as the
he was kind of narrating the storyline.
Yeah, narrating it and everything.
But and then the whole thing is the two of them started wrestling together in the circuits.
In Florida Championship Wrestling.
Right, in Florida Championship Wrestling. And Bo got
put
kind of
into
boosted forward a little bit.
into WWE
And
first.
Bray got held back because of they wanted him to work on his character some more and he was, I mean, according to his voice and those recordings and the stuff he was saying, he wasn't too happy of being called Husky. What was that? Husky.
Or something like that.
I'm going to have to watch it again. But again, he wasn't, because it was making fun of his weight and his size.
Yeah, he
Husky
wasn't
Harris.
happy with.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Jeremy. He didn't like that so much. But
he wasn't.
The creativity that came up and how that character grew over the years, and it all came out of his mind. That was just so cool. And then it was, unfortunately, when he passed away, his story wasn't done yet, because it was about to come full circle when they started introducing Uncle Howdy, because again, he was getting to work with his brother again, and this time hopefully longer.
And he was going to be bringing out a new Fiend and everything. It's there's so much that was coming up for him that his passing,
like I said,
too early, too young.
I still think we're in for a hell of a surprise at WrestleMania when it comes to the Wyatt family. They're not done. And Bo Dallas basically hinted at he's going to make sure his brother's legacy lives on. There was hints of him coming back as Uncle Howdy with a new Wyatt family, or the old Wyatt family, Eric Rowan and Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a hell of a weekend. I still think they should have celebrities like they used to. Go back to the very first WrestleManias, where you had, a celebrity guest referee, a celebrity ring announcer, a celebrity belt timekeeper, But nope, they're not going to do that. It doesn't seem like it.
You never know. It might come up. I mean, they could surprise us.
Well, you never know. I mean, the thing is, they changed that whole, according to what I've read with Triple H, some of this stuff has been changed, like the cards before WrestleMania, like the Rock not taking on Roman, and now Cody taking on Roman instead, because the audience was so upset. He's like, I can do this now. Vince would have never done this. So, listen to the audience and stuff, so we're going to have to wait and see how this goes, because it's a new era, and this is they're learning how to do things. And if Triple H keeps saying what he, does what he says, like listening to the fans more than Vince did, we could see a whole lot of new stuff happening. But I still think they need to bring in some new belts. The women deserve an Intercontinental belt just as much as the men. And I think the women deserve a U.S. title belt just as much as the men.
Yeah.
And I think they should bring back the TV title, not this 24/7 or speed title crap.
Is that even out there anymore?
The TV title?
No, the 24/7 title.
I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while. But, I mean, it gives somebody like R-Truth had 57 championships, all right? Or something like that. But 50 of those plus were the 24/7 title.
Yep.
Because
he kept losing it and getting it back.
Yeah, it was a stupid idea, Jeremy. I really think that was one of the stupidest titles they ever had. It was funny while it lasted. That was about it. I kind of thought of it as a joke. But the television title, the true television title, they had like a 15-minute time limit, and they had to win the match in the first 5 or 10 minutes in order to obtain the title. So it wasn't an easy title to begin with in the first place. Yeah, the hardcore title too. Yeah, I didn't like that belt either. Yeah, it looked like it looked like it went through a blender or something, or got smashed by something that could break metal.
Too cartoony.
It was. It really was too cartoony. I agree. It looks like something that, you know, it looked like it came out of the trash can and had duct tape, and yeah, it just looked stupid. Oh, you like the hard? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So the 24/7 title was too cartoony. That I'd agree with too.
yeah.
But I didn't like the hardcore title. I think they could have done that a little better though too. You know, I think they could have done the hardcore title just a little better. You know,
Well,
but
they had to make the hardcore title look hardcore.
even though here I'm going to go off track. Even though um, I don't watch it as much, but AEW's got more titles over there. You know, because they cross over and do things with all these other. I think WWE needs to loosen up and work with some of these other companies as well, because I think it'd be kind of cool to see a crossover match between some of those wrestlers and that are over there in AEW versus some of these guys now, or you know, they could really have fun with it if they just loosen up more now that Vince McMahon's gone.
They could call it the Wrestling Wars.
Hey, anything's possible, you know. And I think one of those titles, I think I can't remember where she signed, which one she signed. I think she signed with SmackDown, Jade Cardell. But I got a feeling whoever has that belt for SmackDown in the women's division better watch out for her. You know, whoever's got that SmackDown title after WrestleMania is over, whether it be uh, Bailey or what's the one that's got
Io
it?
Sky.
Io Sky. All right, I believe Io Sky's got that SmackDown title right now, and if it's Io Sky or Bailey, whoever wins that title, they better be watching their back for that woman. Jade Cardell is one. I mean, she showed up, and that whole women's division got put on notice because
Oh
she
yeah.
was there.
Oh yeah.
And you notice, you know, Bianca and Naomi. Well, Naomi was working with her before because I think Naomi was over there in AEW where Jade Cardell came from. Okay. Yeah. 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 They will. They need to split the tag titles though.
Yeah.
Men's tag titles, and they need to put them. They need to split them make two new sets, and put them back on SmackDown and Raw. But
Well,
Naomi and Bianca Belair, they knew to not get on her bad side the minute she showed up. But Naomi was working with Jade Cardell in AEW, and she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I think she'll get that belt, that SmackDown title, pretty quickly too.
actually,
The splitting is happening in the 6-pack match. Aha! So you're saying that during this 6-pack ladder match for the undisputed tag team titles, they're going to have them separated, hanging above the ring in two separate, like in the middle, two separate locations, two separate hooks. That'd be an interesting match to watch.
Yeah.
That would be a first and really be interesting to watch, because you have the current ones holding the titles, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, Mr. Wrestling Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, and they've been working really well together this time.
Oh, wait a minute! You mean Degeneration X?
Yeah. The Miz, R-Truth. Now they've worked together before, so they're not to be. Yeah, I wouldn't underestimate those two. R-Truth's a better wrestler. I mean, he's a better comedian than he is I don't know. I think he's good at both, but people underestimate him because he's such a good comedian. He likes to play stupid. He's really not that stupid. He's doing it to make you laugh. Okay.
And to make you overconfident.
But I think people underestimate him. And him and Miz do work together pretty good.
Awesome truth.
That's what they were called the first time they tagged together. And then you got the New Day, Kobe and Xavier, and the same thing. Even though he hasn't been cleared yet, he will be there. Big E will be there at WrestleMania.
In the audience?
He will be he will be part of the announce team. Okay. Like for the first half or whatever, how they switch off, but he'll be there. And then these two, I don't think they should even be in it. I'll be upset if they win, because I can't stand either one of them, because I just want to see both of them get the shit smacked out of them completely. You've got Austin Theory and his buddy Grayson Waller.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been in it. In fact, wasn't there a controversy over where somebody else was going to replace them?
Yeah, there was talks about them being replaced, but it hasn't happened yet. And then you got these two guys, and these two guys, even though Pete Dunne was part of Sheamus's little group for a while there,
the Brawling Brutes,
right? Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate were tag teams before Pete Dunne joined with Sheamus in that little faction, so they can't be underestimated either. They worked. They look like they've gotten on the same page. Okay, Pete Dunne and Taylor Bate, they had a rough start getting back again, but I think they're on the same page. And if you underestimate those two, you're going to have a hell of a time winning anything.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he's come back, yeah, I agree. Pete is dangerous. He came back and he got back as Pete Dunne and all of this. He has become more aggressive, going after those fingers a lot more. Yeah, and people think that he's just, no, he can wrestle too. So I think they underestimate these two guys. I don't think Finn Balor and Damian Priest stand a chance walking out of there with their belts.
I don't think so either.
I really don't.
But it's kind of up in the air who would win
Well,
them.
see, the thing is, when they lose those belts, that might be
The end of Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. And that might piss him off enough because you've got two titles there at this, happening on Sunday night. Okay. You've got Cody versus Roman. And then you've got Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. Now, see, if I think he might go after Seth Rollins and the Drew McIntyre.
Oh, that's right. He's still got the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Your Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank briefcase with the contract. So, yeah, so they're probably not going to win their tag team titles or keep their tag team titles, and that'll make it perfect for him to go after one of those two. And he'll probably go after...
I personally think the Judgment Day is holding Damian Priest back.
Well, yeah, it is.
I think he could have been when he first arrived on the scene from NXT. I knew he was going to be big and go somewhere, so I said that. I mean, he had it all. He had all the tools.
Yeah.
However, I think when he joined the Judgment Day, that whole Judgment Day has been holding him back. Damian could have had a belt by now if it wasn't for the Judgment Day and him and Finn Balor arguing over things. And yeah, he was. He was. And when he got involved in the Judgment Day, they kicked Edge aside and all of that. It started holding Damian back after that. I think Damian could have had a belt by now. There was a few people that kept him from cashing in. There was a few. Sammy, I think, didn't Finn Balor cost him at once. And then
did the bloodline? I mean, the extra bloodline stop it?
Did, and I think Drew even did. He tried to cash in several times, and then he hasn't tried. He hasn't tried in quite a while.
No.
All right. So this is the perfect time for him. And the thing was, if he was smart, he'd not listen to that Judgment Day and say the hell with Rhea and cash it in on Sunday night against Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Because I'd really hate to see Drew win that belt.
Yeah.
I'd rather see Seth walk away for it or Damian Priest cash in and win it. Okay. He's going to have a hard time cashing it in on Roman if Roman wins on, his match with Cody. Because the rest of the bloodline, plus all of that, like I said, I think a good portion of that Samoan dynasty will be there for the entire weekend. Whether it be part of the show or in the audience, they will be there. Rikishi's definitely going to be there to watch his two sons wrestle.
Well, yeah,
I mean, if I was Rikishi, I wouldn't miss that for anything in the world. You know,
No,
I'd want ringside seat.
with that, he would be probably in the front row because he can't really be at ringside because he doesn't want to play favorites.
I get that. But at the same point, the way his character has gone and turned heel, and the way he's like whining about it, in my eyes,
brooding,
you know, and being so angry about it, you know, maybe he wins it again, and then Damien cashes in on him. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Drew McIntyre since he turned heel. He makes a terrible heel.
No, he's better off as a babyface.
You know, I mean, I liked him better beforehand, but when he turned heel and he started jumping all those guys all of the time and whining like he was whining because COVID took his glory away from him. Yeah, yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan of punks either, but you know, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of punks either. I mean, punk was another one of those Paul Heyman guys.
Yeah.
But with the Samoan dynasty and the Samoans, that you got Roman inducting Paul Heyman, and you might as well say he's part of that Samoan dynasty because he goes way back before Roman was born, working with that Samoan family. You know, because Roman's not that old. So, when he goes back 30, 40 years, early in his career, he was working with the Wild Samoans, managing them, and he's getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. The Rock's grandmother, and I think he's the one inducting her, The Rock. So then you've got those big matches with, Rock and Roman, and then Roman and Cody, and then you've got Jay versus Jimmy, and from what I've been watching and hearing from Rikishi, he ain't gonna miss that. He's gonna be right there.
Yep.
So you can bet a good share of that Samoan dynasty family will be there this weekend. So it's going to be a big event. And I guess, also according to Triple H, we're in for a few surprises. And like Jeremy said back there about those legends.
Yeah, with it being the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania,
Hawk, Cena, Austin.
Yeah, you can almost expect some of them to make a special appearance.
And those are just a few of the legends out there that can probably still wrestle. Hawk, Cena, Austin. I don't know about Austin, but he might be able to, Undertaker, the Undertaker's been on almost every WrestleMania so far, in one form or another. So I think we're going to see one of the biggest WrestleManias ever. And they brought back the Slammies. Forgot to look that up too. The Slammies, in case you don't know what the Slammies are awards given out to wrestlers for various reasons. And they're voted on by the fans, the universe. Hi, Adrian. How's Colorado weather?
Is it better than ours?
Yeah, that battle royal should have been like on a kickoff show, like Saturday or Sunday or something on the
Yeah,
kickoff
rather
show.
than on
Nice, 75 degrees.
75. Oh my gosh.
I want to go to Colorado now. I'm sick of this winter weather, and it's supposed to be spring. Rain mixed with snow and 33 degrees.
Yeah, considering it takes, like
And,
yesterday,
it,
it took me an hour and a half to get home.
and it's a
It
wet,
normally only
heavy
takes
snow.
40 minutes.
Yeah, 3 empty bedrooms. Wet, heavy snow. My puppy didn't even like it today because it was such a wet and heavy snow. No, we got snow yesterday. It was wet, heavy, and slushy.
Freak snowstorm. Freak snowstorm.
No.
It was raining until, what was it, about 3 o'clock, and then just started snowing heavily. No plows, and the sad part was no plows came out. I made it home with no plows on the roads. Anyway, so Joe, give me your predictions. Let me know who you think is going to win.
Well, I don't know. I'm a picky eater. She wouldn't want to feed
Very
me.
picky. Anyway, we're getting off the subject.
So, it's okay. I don't mind. We always get off subject in every show we do. The one tomorrow, hopefully, will be real fun. See who shows up.
I think I'll show up.
The Rock. See, we got scheduled night. The Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth. Now, I hope Cody and Seth have this. You know, sometimes in wrestling, I think these wrestlers don't think and don't have a backup plan. You know, sometimes you think they're a little brain dead. No one going up against the bloodline or any members of the bloodline. The numbers are always going to be against you. Okay, so you got to even the odds. I hope Seth and Cody come out of it
On top.
but no bloodline rules on Sunday.
That would
But
be
I don't
awesome.
see that happening unless there's no interference.
That's
if there's
true.
no interference, nobody from the outside interferes in that Saturday night match, I think Cody and Seth have a good chance of winning that because I still think Rock is going to turn on Roman that night.
Yeah, that
And it cost him to lose there. So then he has to fight it evenly, one-on-one. And the reason I think Roman's going to lose his belt is because I think Roman needs to take time off. No matter what he says, I got a feeling I've been watching Roman real closely, and I think a lot of his not wrestling so much that people, I mean, he's doing something that he was bitching about Brock Lesnar before he got this belt that he holds now. Okay. And I think he needs a break to get more treatments or something. I think that and I found out it's not the exact same type of leukemia I had because I was watching that documentary on Roman Reigns on Vice, and I found out he has CML, which is chronic which means it never goes away. He can relapse at any given time and probably will at some point. So I think he's relapsed, and that has a lot of, they wanted him to hold that belt for a while. And now he needs to, he hasn't.
He needs to take a break.
When he wrestles in a tag match or stuff, he doesn't come in and do all the heavy work. Somebody else does, and then he gets to win. Okay.
He takes the easy way out.
So I think he needs that break. The CML's back, and I think that's So, but I think Roman's going to turn on him, and it's going to be a fair match on Sunday.
You mean Rock is going to turn on Roman?
Rock is going to turn on Roman, and it's going to be a fair match
on Sunday.
But there's still the possibility of Jacob Fatu interfering anyways. You've got the whole Samoan dynasty, or a good portion of it's going to be there.
Yeah, okay.
Then you got Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch.
I don't know if Becky's hungry enough to get the win.
I'd love to see Becky win it.
It'd be nice.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think she's hungry enough yet.
I really don't like betting against her, but it's going to be a hell of a match either way.
Yes.
It's going to be one of those ones out of many that'll happen.
This is awesome.
Right. Then you've got Gunther versus Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn will get that IC title.
I think so too, because Gunther is underestimating him, and he is now hungry enough.
But he's
for
also
that title.
I think it's going to be another one where people are going to go, it's awesome.
They're going to take each other to the limits like normal.
But I think Gunther's earned a little bit of respect for Sami Zayn, his little act. I don't think he underestimated him. But it's going to take is Gunther to make one mistake, or those two jabronis that we haven't seen in a while might show up, and it might be just enough for Sami Zayn to win. But I think Sami's finally got his number, though. That's just it. I think Sami Zayn has finally got Gunther's number. So I think he knows exactly what he needs to do.
Okay.
So, and I ain't calling that brother versus brother match.
Nope. Neither will I.
You know, I'd love to see Jay win that right now, just so he can shut Jimmy up by saying,
he beat him once.
Well, it's Jimmy's also saying he's the bigger brother, I'm the older brother, blah blah blah, and shoving that all in its face.
1 or 2 minutes?
Right, but it's still, he keeps shoving all of that in his face, and it's like, just shut him up, Jay. I feel for Jay, so I hope he wins, but it's going to be one hell of a fucking fight.
Okay.
So
then you got...
And then you got that 6-pack and I'm not going to call that either.
Okay, Bailey and...
No, the 6-pack ladder match.
Yeah, I know.
But Jeremy said back here where he thinks they're going to split both.
They're going to split them up and put them...
And I hope that happens. I really hope that happens. And if that happens, Finn Balor and Damian Priest aren't going to walk out of there with either one of those titles.
No, it could be any one of those other 5 tag teams.
If I had to make a bet, I would bet on Kobe and Xavier. because they've been in these matches before. They've got the most experience in these types of matches.
For one of them. The other one, I would think DIY.
Yeah, I could see that. Then you've got, this was unexpected. This was a last minute addition. Oh, wait, we've got this Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control. And I think Damage Control is going to get their ass handed to them.
Yep.
I mean, you've got three very tough, very experienced women in that ring against these three tiny little Japanese fuckers. And I think that whole Damage Control is going to underestimate them. And Dakota Kai, whether she's faking her injury or not,
She's still got that brace on her leg.
you know, she's going to be a weak link.
Yep.
So, I mean, Asuka and Kairi Sane, they were great as a tag team, in the past. But Dakota Kai is a weak link. And like Jeremy says, Jade's not losing her first match, especially at a big event like WrestleMania. She wouldn't be signing a contract if that was supposed to happen. So, yeah, they are definitely going to walk away the winners.
Okay.
Then you've got, this was a last minute addition, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santo Escobar and Dominic. I really hope I get to see a replay of Dominic getting his ass paddled.
Oh.
Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, my money are on them. But I don't know what'll happen because you've got numbers on both sides.
Yep.
So, but I'm going to put my money on Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, and I want to see that spanking happen to Dominic. He needs to get spanked again. Although he has become a better wrestler since joining up with, yeah, it's going to be a Mexican standoff. That's right.
What is it going to be? Something like the Spanish Inquisition? Instead, it's going to be the Mexican Inquisition?
I don't know. We're gonna wait and see, but that's going to be a hell of a match to see. Ray has got a bone to pick with both of them.
Yep.
Okay. Then on night 2, we've got Roman versus Cody. I think Cody's going to walk away and finish his story and get that belt that so eluded him. I really want to see that happen.
Yeah.
I like Roman Reigns and all, and I'm always going to like the Samoans, but this is the one time I want to see Roman go down and leave for a while and come back after reinventing himself, if he can, even, with the chronic, the CML and that being chronic, it means there's no cure. At least with mine, and mine was AML, I had a cure. I got lucky. And they didn't even catch mine early like they caught his. So that's the only thing. I just, I got respect for him because he's doing what he's doing with and living with a god-awful disease that I have first-hand knowledge of. Okay. But I want to see him lose. he needs a rest. He needs a break.
He needs
He's
to go
not
home and
looking
play
too
with those
good.
kiddos.
He's not looking too good either.
No, he's not.
Then we got the World Heavyweight Championship match, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins needs a break. He needs to go get healed.
He needs to go and get his back fixed.
I think Drew McIntyre is going to win this. However, I think that's the match that Sir Money in the Bank is going to cash in on.
Yeah.
And I think if he succeeds, Drew McIntyre is going to be champion all but a hot minute, you know. I really love to see Bayley get some revenge.
Oh yeah.
She burnt some bridges and so on and so forth.
But she did not deserve what they did to her.
Yeah, I hope she gets some revenge. She's just got to make sure her emotions doesn't get the best of her,
and that she stays focused.
She doesn't make any too many mistakes, or any at all. Now, for the United States Championship, it's going to be a triple threat match, and this is going to be lovely. Logan Paul, the little SOB that decided to use some brass knucks on two of the wrong people.
And now they're coming for revenge.
He tried to use them on Kevin Owens, and it ended up getting Kevin Owens disqualified because Kevin Owens ended. So it cost Kevin Owens. Okay, but Logan Paul brought those brass knucks into the scenario because you remember he couldn't get him back off his fingers after hitting low, and so the referee disqualified him. Otherwise, he would have won that match. They saw him on after he hit him, and he, the 1, 2, 3 count happened, and then, or I think he only got to 2, and he disqualified.
He got to 2, and then he saw him.
Because he couldn't get him off those fat fingers of his. His hand was probably swollen or something. So he's pissed off. He's got a bone to pick about the brass knucks with Logan Paul. And so does Randy Orton. He pissed off the Viper. I can say this. Logan Paul will not be walking out with that title.
But it's a little too close to call who will be.
This is what I hope they do. I hope Randy and Kevin just beat the shit out of Logan Paul to the point where he cannot
finish the match
and has to be carried out or whatever. And then it's Randy versus Kevin for the belt.
And that's up in the air because, like I said, they're a little too close to call.
But
at least for me it is.
I think the Viper wants it more. I'd go with the Viper. Here's one that's going to be hard to call. This is going to be an outright brawl. LA Knight versus AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah.
That has gotten so personal.
Excuse me.
It won't be coming.
He never wants to win the IC ever again because his total combined days.
Oh, he doesn't want to surpass Owen Hart.
So in other words, as soon as they get Logan Paul out of the way, he's probably just going to basically let Randy have it. He's basically going to...
Well, he's definitely got more respect for Randy Orton than he does for Logan Paul now.
Yep.
You could say that. And that LA Knight and AJ Styles match, that's going to be too close to call because that thing got extremely personal between the two of them.
Yeah.
It's going to be a brutal, brutal, brutal match. And then you've got this other one that got added, which is Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, versus the Final Testament, which is Karrion Kross, Akam, and Razor in a Philadelphia street fight. I don't know why they do that. A street fight's a street fight. Yeah, it's in Philadelphia, but they think, oh, a Philadelphia street fight.
What's anything different?
It's the same thing no matter what city it's in.
Yeah,
It's a street fight. It can go anywhere. No no disqualifications, no countouts.
Pinfalls count anywhere.
I don't know if pinfall counts. Yeah, it might. But the weapons. Oh, is that what it is? Okay, so it's Donner ECW. That explains something too. Because Paul Heyman was the brains behind ECW. So, another way because he's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. But man, that's going to be a hell of a fight. And
you don't know who to really.
I got a feeling the Final Testament's going to win that one. And the reason I'm saying that is because Karrion Kross and those other two big guys, I think, have got a little bit more
oomph
experiences in fights like that.
Ah, okay.
And we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I don't think Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits are going to win this. That's just my opinion.
So is that the last one?
Yeah.
One of the
and it's going to be a big event. So
yeah.
And the main event will be a rematch of last year's title match between Roman Reigns
and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Because it's basically the same match as last year, only hopefully it's better.
Well, this time with stipulations, but see, Rhodes did something that nobody else has done to get this spot.
Yeah, he's won the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row.
Yeah, back-to-back Royal Rumbles. He faced Roman Reigns last year in WrestleMania. He's going to be doing it again this year for the title. Last year it was for the title too.
But he didn't quite get it.
Oh. But I think that it's going to happen from the rumor mills. I think we're going to see some surprises. I think we're going to see, and I mean by surprises, I mean people show up. I think there'll be matches added that we don't know about until the last possible second. That'll happen at WrestleMania.
Anything can happen.
And even though the fans were demanding it and it didn't happen, like I said, I was reading and it had a lot to do with Mike Rotundo, formerly IRS or whatever, saying it's too early. We need time to mourn and grieve before you induct him into the Hall of Fame. So next year he will be inducted into the Hall of Fame, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, it's only been 7 months.
But I think because this is the biggest, supposedly the biggest because Triple H saying this is going to be the biggest WrestleMania ever, right? All kinds of special surprises. I think that there's going to be one hell of a tribute to Bray Wyatt, and it's going to have to do with Bo Dallas returning as Uncle Howdy, or maybe in that costume that was made but never seen.
Yeah, the new Fiend costume.
So, till next week, when we talk about the results and Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, be safe and have a good.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night. Oh, wait, I gotta end this scene.